Having come to blows with Alex Belfield and having had an apology from him and having accepted that, I'm in two minds, really, about what I think of this court case which is progressing against the BBC or against Belfield from the BBC. I'm so confused by this, though. Alex gives a report every night, and sometimes it is quite compelling viewing. And he is no doubt brave and principled. He certainly is a potty mouth, and he certainly uses language which I wouldn't condone. But on the other hand, is he a stalker? He doesn't seem to have pursued anybody physically. And if you are going to be condemned for sending lots of emails, then presumably we have to condemn much of advertising and much of political campaigning, which operates on the same basis, or has until very recently. And the other thing is, I do wonder if the BBC is pursuing some sort of vendetta against somebody who has called them out. No, I'm all for calling out people who have done wrong. I'm all for kindness. I don't know really where I sit with this, except that I find this a fascinating and compelling case, as does Bay. So this is a report that the BBC produced today, which of course has a bit of a bias against Belfield, but there we are.
Just tell us what's happened in this case.
Well, 42-year-old Alex Belfield from Mapley in Nottingham was a radio presenter at many different stations, including BBC Radio Leeds. He's accused of stalking 8 people, including the broadcaster Jeremy Vine. Mr Belfield is not accused of physically stalking them. The prosecution say he repeatedly sent emails, posted on social media and made YouTube videos, which it's claimed amount to stalking. The prosecution finished its case today. The judge said Alex Belfield had the chance to give evidence from the witness box under oath and be cross-examined. He declined, as he is entitled to do so. The judge said the jury can decide for themselves what to make of the decision not to give evidence.
So what did Alex Belfield have to say, Simon?
He's representing himself in court, and he said he's sticking to the evidence that he gave in police interviews, and that's why he's not taking to the witness stand. He read some agreed facts to the jury. This was emails from BBC Security in 2016 and 2017. This stated they did not see any value in the continued monitoring of emails from Alex Belfield. They are inoffensive and non-threatening, and there was no risk to BBC staff.
And what else did Mr Belfield tell the jury?
Well, he gave a speech to the jury going through the case and how he sees it, and much of this relates to free speech. He said, "I'm a Nottingham lad with a potty mouth and I speak as I find it. I appreciate that's not to everyone's taste." He explained most of his emails were freedom of information requests to the BBC press office. He was investigating how much the BBC was spending on awards events and on travel. He said he's the most successful anti-BBC journalist and they hate me for it. The broadcaster Jeremy Vine gave evidence in court earlier in the trial. Mr Belfield had been sending information requests about £1,000 of BBC money, which had been given to a charity. Mr Belfield said that shouldn't have happened. Jeremy Vine had cried in court, but Alex Belfield said he had never sent an email directly to him. He said for Jeremy Vine to call him the Jimmy Savile of trolling was unthinkable. Mr Belfield says he's been accused of sending 6,000 emails, but only 29 have been given in the bundle of evidence. He does not believe the BBC has forensically looked for more emails, otherwise they would be part of the evidence. He says there's been collusion and a conspiracy between the BBC and the police. Alex Belfield denies all the charges and the trial continues.
You know, really, when you look at this sort of case, you must think there's a bit of you which just thinks free speech, free speech, free speech. I don't like what I hear, but nevertheless I want to champion it. Championing free speech, because without that, we are moving heavily towards some sort of tyrannical state, and we don't want that, do we? That does mean that we allow people with potty mouths to have complete free rein.